And the mentality as well for Gabriel Martinelli. Didn't come on till the 80th minute.
Yeah.
Disappointed not to be involved, but then to come on and yet again in a big game make an impact.
He's a big player, you know. Either you start the game or not, you have to keep your focus high. You have to be ready because it's not only for yourself anymore. You have to keep your ego around the team, and you are here to do a job. You are paid to play football. You are here to represent the club, which is Arsenal. So I think he has shown it again once today that we can, Arsenal, the team, the fans, they can believe in his ability. Either he start the game or being on the bench. But we all thought today he's going to start the game. But he showed us that we were wrong, and he actually proved us also wrong that him coming in, he can also be a different. He's always focused. And I think that's a big and a strong message for the coaches now that, okay, I put you on the bench, maybe to punish you, maybe for whatsoever reason, but you have proved me again wrong. So I think now it's going to be hard for the coaches. Now you have Saka, you have Madueke, you have Eze, and you have Martinelli. It's a big problem, which is a good and positive for the club.
And my message to him, I wouldn't be now. I want to play, you know, especially with what he's done the other day with the Champions League. We know what he's capable of. He's somebody that needs consistently to be playing. You know, I think that now on that kind of form, you know, the manager chose to put Trossard in after scoring in the Champions League game instead of Martinelli. Well, I thought the pace would have been a problem for City, especially when they started with the guy at the back there, Kusanov. So if I'm him, I'm probably saying, listen, when's my chance coming? When do I get to, you know, have a run and a start in this team? Because I think I deserve it.
And the irony was, Madueke was a little unfortunate himself to be substituted at half-time, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was. It was. I thought he was excellent, actually. One of the real bright sparks in the City low block. He looked electric. Him and Nico O'Reilly were having a good battle. Carved out probably the only half-decent chance of the first half, but it's a tough school. It's a tough school. Arteta, fair play to him. Maybe he's held his hands up and thought, you know what, I made a mistake with the starting 11. Addressed it at half-time, a totally different Emirates, and they were pounded on the door and eventually got a well-earned goal.
Well, Mikel Arteta has become the first manager in Pep Guardiola's league career to go 5 league games unbeaten against him with that late equaliser. And here are the thoughts of the Arsenal manager.
You mentioned your finishers being as important as your starters, and Gabriel Martinelli again comes on and makes an impact.
Yeah, very happy. That's what they're here for, and both of them helps as well with the ball he plays to Gavi, the timing of his run, and then the quality of the finish is unbelievable.
And do you deserve credit for the fact that these players that aren't starting still come on and are super motivated? There's no sulking or anything like that?
No, because they're all going to play. They all have opportunities today. Willie played, Leo played because of the performance of last week. Epps doesn't start. He's happy to come on and have the impact. We're going to need them at that level. There's no question that that's something very necessary.
And just finally, you got a point at the end, but obviously Liverpool's gap now is getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, we cannot control that. They win every match. It's going to be very difficult, but we have to do what we have to do. And if we play at this level, what we've done against Manchester City, we'll be fine.
Yeah, Newcastle away a week today is next in the Premier League, so they've still just lost that one game against Liverpool. What do you make of, I mean, he's obviously phrasing it to try and keep everyone happier when they're not playing. They're not substitutes, they're finishers. And he's come on Martinelli and finished today.
It sounds different than being a substitute, but it's still, you're a substitute. And the fact is you've got to come on and you have got to try and save the team again. You know what I mean? You want to be on the pitch and you want to start the game and prove that you can do that while you're starting, because what's going to happen now, is he going to get typecast now? You know, because he's a finisher, he's done it in the Champions League, he's done it in another big game, you know, against a big team. At some stage, you think to yourself, well, when do I get my chance to be the starter? When do I start? So, you know, that's something that I think that, you know, his performances and him coming off the bench and doing what he's doing, you know, it only highlights the fact that, you know what I mean, I want more. And, you know, I'm going to prove that I can do more. And when I do get the opportunity, I've got to be more consistent when I do get it, so as people don't think I'm just an impact player.
This is when Arteta will go through a lot of difficulty, because we all remember the first year of Pep Guardiola in Barcelona, where he used to have Deco, Ronaldinho, Samuel Eto'o. He doesn't know who to play. And I think right now, Arteta is in that situation. People, when they look at Arteta, they think Arteta is a manager for the last 10 years. Arteta has been coached maybe 5-6 years now.
Yes.
So for him now, he's also learning, because now you have a player that would knock at his door every weekend and say, my friend, I want to play. And that's the way he had to make a call to see who's going to be the best for him and how he's going to manage all these players. It's tough for him, because it's not easy to manage players that want to play week in, week out. and they are obviously, some are from Brazil, some are from England. They are international. They want to represent their country. Before you represent your country, you have to make sure you start in your club. And for me, that's when all this, and we will see how Arteta will manage the situation, because it can be problematic for the club.
That's a really interesting point, because we're so early into the season. If they had a game tomorrow to win the league, do you think he'd know his front three and the sort of attacking midfield player, or would he just... No. I mean, you've got to throw Odegaard into the mix, who's injured at the moment, the captain.
No, I don't think he would. I think it's really early. I know it's a hypothetical question, but the fact is that when I look at it, I'm playing Saka, Eze, and probably Gyökeres. You know, in my mind, straight off the head top. And
with Odegaard behind.
With Odegaard behind, or Martinelli. So I know that out of those four, those three of those are going to start. I know that straight off the bat. But then what you want is, and what Arsenal have done and what they've done brilliantly, is they've made the kind of signings that will challenge the players that's in there. So that gives him a problem in respect of him saying, ooh, my best ones are, because it's up to everybody to play well enough to push whoever the best ones are. So then he's of not knowing who he's going to start. And that is where you get to the levels, where the levels then raise up, and then you're able to challenge Liverpool, Manchester City.
I think that's where man management became very important, because you have to be talking to all these players to keep them happy all the time, even though knowing that they're on the bench. Because me, when I was on the bench in Arsenal, I knew that I had Thierry Henry, Dennis Beckham, Romy Van Persie in front of me. But it was not easy for Arsene Wenger, because every weekend I'm in his office, telling him I'm here to play, I have to play. So those are when you need a manager that can calm the situation down. We have never seen Arteta going through those moments, and I think this is the right year for him to go through. Manager, I want to play. Gaffer, listen, I'm not here to sit on the bench. You didn't bought me to be on the bench. I'm here to play because I want to win Ballon d'Or. I want to be the top goal scorer. I want to be the best player in the league. So we all have our individual things in our mind, whether you like it or not. But at the end of the day, we put into collective. So before you put into collective, we have to think of what I can do, what I'm going to bring into the team. If you're on the bench, it's hard. Martinelli, I think in a couple of weeks, we will lose him, because if he stay after this game, imagine next game he stayed on the bench. Then for him, the head will start going, then the body will follow. Then he will spoil the whole training ground.
He comes with the territory, though, because they're the biggest net spenders. He wanted more strength and depth to challenge for the title. He's got it, but this is the nice stroke hard problem that comes with it.
Yeah, of course, and that's why I think Pep Guardiola's fame for wanting such a small squad, 20 players that you can manage. But ultimately, if you want to challenge on all fronts, and Arsenal can't afford to give up any trophies, they've got to attack the League Cup, the FA Cup, the Champions League, and the Premier League, because they need that silverware to back up the good work they're doing. The League Cup coming next week is a big one for them. It means they can rotate it a little bit and give people some minutes. But as Eddie said, I've been in dressing rooms where you can amass the best teams you want, but the fire that's caused when you get to October, November, and people aren't getting the minutes that they were promised when they signed, that their agents have been told, don't worry, you're going to get your chance. When your families start getting involved, why are you not getting the minutes? You're just as good as him, blah, blah, blah. That's when you show what a good manager you are.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Totally agree with that. I can't really add to that.
But this is the challenge Mikel Arteta's probably going to have for the first time, with that strength and depth, with the bench that he named today.
Yeah,
we mentioned
and that's exactly what I'm sure that's what he wants. And I think that even today, with his selection, and I think Joe mentioned it as well, maybe he realised that it was by half-time, I made a mistake. And the main thing with that is being able to say, right, I'm just going to switch it and bam, and make the change. Ideally, as the games get more important, he'll make those decisions, the right decisions, right off the bat. Now, people are saying, well, it might not be the wrong decision. In my eyes, I'm starting Martinelli and Eze, because at home you want him to go in. He gets the crowd going. Martinelli, Eze can make those passes like we saw him do. So we need to start that quickly. You know, you're looking at a City side that come to defend. When have you ever seen that? You've never seen that before. 5-4-1. They've come to do that because I don't know if it's because they've played so many games, played 3 games with the same team, Joe. Yeah. I don't know. You could see that they were getting tired. Erling Haaland had to go off, you know. It's a situation where things are changing, and it's good to see, like Pep now. Pep's changing now. He's gone 5-4-1. You know what I mean? He's realised, right, I'm going to sit back. I remember there's times when Arsenal went to City and they said they sat back. I think they got a 2-2 draw. He said, you've got to be going there to win. You know, if Pep can come somewhere to sit back and try and hold onto a result, then Arsenal should be able to do the same. So it's going to be interesting to see if people make the same comments about City coming to defend that Arsenal did the last time they went to the Etihad and didn't get it done.
Very, very early days, only 5 games in, but they're already 5 points behind Liverpool.
Yeah.
Is that any concern at this stage, or just too early?
Not really, but we all knew that Liverpool are not going to lose 6 or 7 games during the season either. So I think in 2-3 weeks, if they are still leading with that gap, then there is a problem. They have to find a solution. Liverpool are playing quite well now. Remember, Ekitike is doing the job properly, scoring goals. Isaac is at the moment on the bench playing one. And by the time all those players will click in, they will be unbelievable. They will be unstoppable,
Yeah.
I think.
I think if they lost today and it went to 8 points, you start thinking about that. Your fan base starts thinking about it. You start thinking about it. You're starting to now think about Liverpool. And if they win, you're like, ugh. Instead of being able to be close enough that even if they win, you can win and you're still close enough. But when you're starting to fight, it would have been 8 points today. If you win and then Liverpool win, it's still 8 points again. So you're constantly trying to chase. You don't want them to get away, Steve. That's the thing. That's why this is such a big result for Arsenal. You can't let them get away and then get away again, because you can't lose too many games. Liverpool won't lose too many games, like Addy said. I think the last 4 years, the teams that have won it have lost 5 games, 3 games, 4 games, 3 games. Arsenal would have lost 2 games by now. That's nearly half. So you cannot get into that situation. So you can't. We couldn't lose today, if I'm totally honest. And I'm quite pleased in the end. I was more relieved than anything that we scored that equaliser.
I get what Ian is saying. Remember, it's only 1 point that you took today. So from 8 to 7. So for me, the gap is not big anymore. So obviously, Arsenal took 1 point. They will be leading by 8. Now they are leading by 7. It's still a little bit too much. So I think Arsenal have to start winning. Then we have to be praying for other team to lose, which is Liverpool. I don't see how, because now Isaac have a couple of weeks, has some games in. He'll be fit. Then Saha still doing Salah.
Well, this is interesting. 601st top flight game as a manager today, and that is the lowest possession in a league game he's ever had in his managerial career, 32.8%. And he actually was honest enough there, Joe, to say in general, Arsenal were better. But is that a sea change for today, just because of the unchanged team and the week he's had, or is that a little sign of the different Manchester City?
No, I don't think we're not going to be seeing 30s from them again this season if they can help it, unless there's something drastic happens in the game, losing a player or injuries. That's not how they're setting up this season. They're not going to look to just grind out results like that. That was a bit of a one-off at the end of a week where he felt like he could only trust that 11 to start again. Tough week. Thursday night was a tough game, and they felt like they had to dig in. And getting that early goal meant that they could kind of rely on a good, solid defensive performance. They've got the confidence in the goalkeeper, the centre-halves at the moment, and they probably felt like they could grind it out. But I don't think that's going to be a game plan that they're going to try and stick to for the rest of the season. And
the fact that Donnarumma did virtually punch everything and save everything up until the goal, that's when we spoke to Gianni Reinders earlier on. That's what he was saying. They believed they could see it out.
Yeah, I think they felt reasonably comfortable, you know. Donnarumma's had 2 saves that he'd expect to make during the game, not many gilt-edged chances. Admittedly, though, the concerning thing for City is David Raya. I think Erling Haaland had 1 half-decent chance after his goal. Other than that, he was a relative spectator for the game. So it looks like they've locked things up at the back. They do look solid, and it was an incredible goal to beat them. That was an absolute defence-splitting pass, incredible touch. But they probably need to address the other situation down the other end in the big games. They need to be creating more chances than that.
Yeah, in the penalty area today, Manu, City had 8 touches of the ball.
I think we spoke about it already. Obviously, it was a long week for them, playing Manchester, playing the Champions League against Napoli at home, now playing at Arsenal. Arsenal, we all knew Arsenal will have the ball, they will pass the ball around. And we are seeing a new face of Manchester, because bringing Donnarumma in, we all knew now that they cannot have a team that starts from the keeper anymore. Donnarumma is a very good modern goalkeeper, but not with the feet. A couple of years back, all the modern goalkeepers have to be able to pass the ball and play as a midfielder. And today is different, and that's what they have faced today. Donnarumma was there to do the job. He has done it quite well, and I think as Joe has said, we are going to see a different Manchester who are ready to sit at the back and defend. Couple of years, I can see Gundogan Mahrez, Kevin De Bruyne doing what the boys are doing today. Because today, I think the manager put it into their head that you guys have to be ready to solve it. And you can tell at some point, Erling Haaland was playing centre-back today. So which means the whole club are trying to adapt to their new life, which is now we have to be ready to win, but we have also accept to solve it. And I think that's what they're going to go through this season.
They have to accept that sometimes you have to play like Stoke.
That's what they did.
It's a private joke that I don't know about.
Playing for the throw-ins.
Big manager have to adapt to every situation. Big players have to adapt, and I think that's what they have done today. Today, I don't see the difference between them and Stoke.
No, but what we're saying is that what I'm pleased to see there is someone like Pep Guardiola who's arguably taken the game to another level in respects of his coaching and his formations. He can say, listen, with what we're doing with the players we've got, they've obviously practiced it because they were very good. We can play 4-5-1. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. If that's going to win you the game, and you heard Reinders there saying they nearly did it.
Yeah,
you know, it's a way of winning the game.
Personnel that's
probably
like today, particularly available to him.
I think to an extent. I think, look, a dominant Rodri, a fresh Rodri, is a different player in that game. He became very passive. He didn't really feature. He was a Ballon d'Or winner. He was the most recent Ballon d'Or winner. So on his game, the game dictates around him. The game did not dictate around him today, and that's no discredit to him. He turned up, he put his body through it. They weren't even sure he was going to be fit to play 2 or 3 games, let alone 3. Credit to him. So getting Rodri up to speed is key. Getting the players around him. Reinders started really well, an excellent game against Wolves. Yeah. Had a good impact today, but didn't control the game. Bernardo Silva, someone you want to get on the ball. Here, there and everywhere. Doku gave them that spark, gave them that little bit of consistency in the game, I think. Full-back-wise, they have to address that situation. Nico O'Reilly did a good job. Kushnov was looking solid. He's out injured now. So there's a few things that aren't solid in that team. Once they are solid and they've got the team that they want, I expect them to be able to play. Rodri dictating the speed, Diaz and Stones behind him, good ball-playing centre-halves. They can play. But right now, they're just going through a little bit of a period where they've got to dig in.
One thing that is solid and it's consistent is Erling Haaland. I mean, when you've got him, you've got a chance. 6 Premier League goals already. 13 for club and country already this season. He had a hand in the build-up here, right?
Yeah, well. brilliant touch. You know, the thing is that people are going to go on about Man City in the 5-4-1. But when you've got
for me, 2 best defenders in the league right now. Him alone holding them 2, which means this guy got a lot of quality. Even though with tiredness, playing 3 games in a row, I think we spoke about it already. Pep Guardiola, he always changed a team after 1 week, either 1 or 2 players. Yeah. But for the last 3 games in a row, he didn't even change 1 player.
No, and that hasn't happened for 4 years, Manu.
Exactly. So this also proved that the players are tired. The main striker that everybody's like, I was shocked to see Erland coming out, but he was happy to come out. You can tell he's tired. Yeah. So for me, I think there are a lot of changes in the club, but they have to accept it and move forward, and that's what they're doing quite well.
And there's only really Marmoush out injured. Yeah. Otherwise, that is the group that we saw today.
Yeah, like I say, whilst I didn't think it at the start of the season. I didn't think that they were light. I thought they looked really solid. They looked really fresh. But maybe we're judging them off the back of a tough week. And I know someone away from football would say they're footballers. They should be able to play 90 minutes. Trust me, it's tough. There was a real mental tough times that they're going through as well as physical. So like I say, you need a Rodri fit. You need him fit and firing and dictating the speed of the game. Gonzalez, can he get some more time? Can he learn the Premier League a little bit more? Can you feed him in? But at the moment, they're not getting the chance to do that because they're up against, these fixtures are tough that they're playing in. Yeah. You look at that week, that Manchester United, that Napoli, that Arsenal away. But they're not excuses. There won't be excuses made. Pep Guardiola didn't make any excuses. Reinders didn't make any excuses when we spoke to him earlier. These are just facts and little parts of the season that you need to get through. That's what City are doing at the moment.
City's goal. We'll come to that in a moment to Johnny. 1-1, conceding late. How do you feel at the end of that?
Yes, unfortunately they scored the late equalizer, but it was a tough game. But as a team, we fought till the end, and what I said, unfortunately, it's a late equalizer.
Did you feel you'd done enough to get the clean sheet? They scored that late?
Of course, there was a lot of pressure from them, especially in the last 20 minutes with their corner kicks, free kicks, and the crosses they gave. But I think we defended it pretty well. I I think we did everything to don't give away the equaliser, but yeah, it's football.
And you got off to that terrific start with your run and pass for a man who just can't do any wrong at the moment, Erling Haaland.
No, exactly. Everything he touches turns into a goal, and yeah, great finish. I waited till the last moment, and yeah, I saw he was free, and yeah, he only had to score the goal.
Tijani, congratulations on another great performance. I just want to ask, 3 games in a week, 3 tough games. How's everyone feeling physically? Because it looked really, really difficult in that last 20 minutes.
Yes, of course, it was a very tough week. We played Thursday. We had less rest time, but yeah, you can't blame that. We recovered very well, and everybody felt good at the beginning of the game. Only you saw in the last couple minutes, everybody got a bit tired, but no, I think we did pretty well.
And when you play Manchester United, then Napoli, then Arsenal, that's what you join Manchester City for, weeks like this.
Yeah, exactly. That's why you play football, to play games like this, to play in the Premier League. And yeah, it's amazing. And yeah, we have to continue. The season just started, and we have to keep going.
Tijani, thanks for joining us. Well done today.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. He's played a lot of minutes, actually, since signing, hasn't he? He's got high energy levels.
I say him and Doku shone through energy. I thought they were fantastic today. They offered that little threat that they had to give Arsenal a threat, because at one point City were just pinned in. So credit to them. But like you said, it's only the start of the season. It's why he joined them. And I said it just after the game. I don't feel sorry for them being tired. They've got a big squad to pick.
I think Guardiola's got to get some form of big up as well. I thought he was very dominant in that middle bit, especially when we got a little bit desperate and just getting the ball in there. I thought that he was in the right place all the time as well. I thought he played well.
And what he was saying there was they thought they got there, but we haven't seen Manchester City do that an awful lot in the Pep Guardiola.
Those are the things that maybe mistakenly he doesn't say it right. And if Arsenal recognize at the end of the day, he said they were tired at the end. So when you are tired, you lose 1 point, 2 point here, then you end up losing the title. And I think, as we all said today, those are the reasons why Arsenal bought Eze to play this kind of game. And obviously, him during the week, I'm pretty sure he has this type of game in his mind. I can't wait to play against Man City Sunday at Emirates. It's home. I have to do my magic. Then people will love me. Then you end up being on the bench. It's a pain for him. But he came through, show what he got in his locker. But I think he will be very disappointed not starting the game today. Yeah. Because I think personally, those are the games why the boat is to come to Arsenal. Not against Everton, not against Wolverhampton, against Man City, against Liverpool in the Champions League. That's why he cost them a lot of money. I
think that the change in at half-time always kind of signifies that maybe that ain't quite right. So you see Saka coming on, obviously, you know, with the hamstring, and Eze coming on. You think to yourself, I'm thinking here, because I was saying, like Joe said, from the start, you want to see that at the start. You want to see the best at the start, because we're talking about how good our bench is. So we don't need to worry about that, especially if we're starting with Eze and, let's say, Martinelli, not even Saka. Even Saka coming on up to go with these two guys would have got the crowd going again. I thought that we really missed the trick in the first half, because we needed more creativity and we needed more pace, I think, and we got that in the end. And that's what scored the goals for us, the substitutes with the creativity and the pace. And
on the other bench, Adi, have City got enough depth to freshen things? I know Marmoush is injured at the moment, to freshen things up. We saw Haaland come off on 75 minutes.
Obviously, that's what you're talking about. Time has changed. Obviously, now the routine is not the same anymore. It has been in Arsenal favour. If you look at 4 or 5 years ago, by this time they will bring maybe Kevin De Bruyne in. They will bring Alvarez in. They will bring Mahrez in. And today they have no one on the bench. There are some players that don't even know their name. So that is how you know. But obviously, you can see Arsenal brought Eze, Martinelli, Saka in. Those players make difference. And if you want to win the league, either you like it or not, you can have Messi, Ronaldo. But if you don't have the bench that follows, you can win the league.
Yeah, I'd echo that. I think looking at the bench through the years of City being so dominant as they are, no matter the situation, whether you're looking for a goal, looking to hold out, you know that Pep Guardiola can make 2, 3, 4 strong changes. I think when you're on that pitch in the 60th minute, absolutely shattered, and you're looking at the bench and you're thinking, who's going to come on and help us here? Look at the subs that were made. Haaland came off for a defensive midfielder. Phil Foden came off for a centre-half. I think there's strong messages being sent. It's obvious that they were going to try and hold on to the 1-0 lead.
Well, that's unheard of, unrecognisable for Pep City, isn't it?
It is. And like I say, I don't feel sorry for them because that's the squad that he's assembled. I think he was still expecting to be a bit more dominant this season. It's not quite playing out that way.